Karibu kwenye Msasa, where we talk to successful people about failure. There's a quote I like. Ever since I heard it, I've really liked it. And the quote says, most doors are locked. So if you want a door open, you better damn well make sure you have an interesting knock. Saa zingine, even with the interesting knock, the doors don't open. And so what do you do when that happens? You build your own fucking door.
Yeah.
Huo ndo ujasiri wa mali. Our guest today ni mjasiri wa mali. Somebody who has dabbled and invested a lot of time and resources and energy towards marketing and communication types of businesses. Our guest today, Amin Swai. Karibu.
Asante sana.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, if you were to write a book about yourself, what would the title be?
One life, no regret.
One life, no regret.
Yeah.
Why?
I think kwenye maisha, we only have one chance. So, unatoka kufanya ni kwamba kwenye kila hatua katika maisha yako, any decision you make sure kwamba even if it's a wrong decision, you won't regret about it because maisha hana formula. Mm-hmm. So anything you try to do, kinaweza kawak au kisiwak. Mm-hmm. Can be personal life, can be business, can be anything. So I think for me, I believe in that because we only have one life. And how I came about this, nitakusema 1960 kwa hujazaliwa. Those days when I was starting my first business, which was a magazine.
On spot. Naikumbuka.
Yeah. So I used to
then
do...
Ulikuwa chuo
that time.
From 6 hivi, from 5.
I mean, nilikuwa chuo that time.
Yeah.
So it's from 6, yeah. From 6 getting to first year. Mm. So at that time, before we start this, ulikuwa niuliza, I've never been employed.
Yeah.
So it was my first really work which involved having a professional working relationship. Sikuwa na a network around me. So the only people I could get, maybe family members, will tell you, by the way, nenda Coca-Cola. That this person, you can call them, then maybe they can give you advert or support for your magazine project. Mm. So I used to sit with the number and I say, I'll call them today. And then I don't call. Mm. Then to go day 2, I'll call them today, then I don't call. Day 3, I'll call, they won't pick. Then I won't do anything. And then at that time, I used to perceive it as more of a personal issue. Like, they don't pick my call because they don't know me and such kind of things. But then I met some guy at that time. Alikuwa anaitwa Njeru Zakayo. Alikuwa ni GM wa Regas offices. Mm. I was looking for a space.
Regas walikuwa shangia Bongo.
Walikuwa shangia Bongo. Yes.
Okay.
They had a center in town. Mm. So nika inquire because at that time I used to, of course, finances are not good, so I had to cut down costs. Nanini, I can't have a full office and such kind of things. Then when I met him, he was very consistent to convince me to join Regas for 6 months. Then when I went to Regas, at last I went to Regas offices, and then I was like, despite everything, I really admire you. Consistent. Mm. Then later we became friends. Then later I left there, and then he started his. It's good in sales, so he started his company on trainings on sales. So when he told me that, then I said, can you help me to train me in terms of understanding how to do proper sales and everything? Then I take him through my experience of what had happened. Then he told me, if I give a number to call Elisha, and you call him, and he's not picking, it's the same as you've never met him.
The first interaction hasn't actually happened yet.
Exactly. Yeah. Even if it happens, you are born not knowing this person. Mm. So it's either you get to know this person or you never get to know this person. So when you get called, make as many calls as you can. So the funny thing is, he helped me in such a way that I opened doors which I never imagined to open. Mm-hmm. You get the point. Mm-hmm. I remember my first year I went to TBL. I just walked in with my demo magazine and I showed them and I asked them for sponsorship. And I think we had Grand Mal for 3 years. Mm-hmm. supporting her. It was one of my best achievements at that time. But just because I understand, like, okay, what will I lose even if I go and knock and they say, we don't like it? It's the same as not knocking at all.
Yeah.
So that's when I came to learn about that thing, and I think I got into that one life, no regret. Everything, just do it. Whatever it happens, just don't regret about it.
Okay. So does that mean you have no regrets, or you have a better way of dealing with bad decisions?
To be honest, I don't have regrets.
Okay.
I see them more of lessons.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Because there's so many ways of learning things.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me about it.
One is going to school and pay for it.
Yeah. And the other one is doing things and paying for it.
Yes.
The common denominator is you always pay, though.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a price to pay.
There's a price to pay.
There's always a price to pay.
Yes,
yeah. When you're speaking about calling, you're speaking about sales, basically.
Yeah.
You learn a lot when you meet business leaders or entrepreneurs. But among different people have different qualities, and it's what makes them who they are. One relatively another common denominator kwa mtu yote ambaye ni mjasiri wa mali, ili uweze kutoboa lazima ujue kuuza. Being able to sell is not an option. Even when they have salespeople, they themselves are usually incredible salespeople. So, kwa mfano, when you're talking about being able to call, for instance, wewe, what is your sales process like when you're trying to create that first interaction that can potentially lead to a potential deal? Thinking back, 10 years ago and now, is there a difference in approach?
Yes, there's a very huge difference. Back then, I call someone and have a scripted introduction. Hi, I'm Amin from OnSpot Magazine, a leading youth magazine. We are distributing a magazine in 6 regions. We focus on youth. We're already a partner with ISEC, such kind of things. And then we're looking for opportunity. We can promote your brands, such kind of things. So you see, at that it was very scripted. But now I believe is more of, I think my way of doing, sometimes I call it just being Amin Swai.
Being Amin Swai, okay.
Being Amin Swai, which is, what are you trying to solve? Like any person, even I'm a brand manager for, let's say, a big brand. I'll always have KPI.
Yes.
Maybe I need to drive more awareness. I need to drive more sales. I need to drive everything. So for me now is, if I call that person, is what am I trying to solve apart from the 3 things or 4 things they have? You get the point? The another thing is, don't think of immediate sales. Think of long term. So sometimes now I've been doing more of, hey, Amin, I'm running a marketing communication agency, Blanq Marketing Communication. We do ABCD, but just want to let you know what we're doing and just understand your business and your challenge you're facing. You get the point? I'm not selling. Just more of, let's just meet, let's get to know each other, and then that's it. You get the point? And then in the long run, I believe that's when you can convert that person.
Why do you believe that? Because
unless the kind of customer you're dealing with, you already know their needs, then it's easy to say that, hey, I can provide the ABCD. You get the point? Like I'm in, I also run petrol station dealership, and also we're doing gas dealership. So with that one, you already know the need.
It's pretty specific, yeah.
You get the point? Of course, I don't do those sales and everything. So now it's me managing the team and them doing everything. But for that one, it's easy to say that maybe I can give a better offer, much more better terms, such kind of things. If it's lubricant, I have a better, much more efficient lubricant, which can help you to save maybe 20% of your cost of your operations and of your fleet, such kind of things. So it's all depend on each business has a different way of selling it. You get the point? I don't believe it's one size fits
All.
All.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically the sales approach or the first initial call changes from a script to a more friendly, open-ended canvas where anything can go either way.
Kwa sababu hata mimi nikijiangalia wewe mwenyewe, the some of things you've purchased or you have decision you've made for to commit to purchase something or to buy something, not because it was a hard sell. It's because like sometimes you get to know this guy does this, and then with time, it's reached a time it's about to make a decision about it, and then by the way, this guy, I saw him doing this. I think maybe we can give him a chance. Such kind of things. Yeah. So I think it has evolved from back then in 1960s when we were not born, whereby you just call and have a scripted call and such kind of things.
But what do you do when they don't respond?
Don't take it personal.
Okay.
Sometimes they have a really good solution better than one to provide, so it's not an urgent thing, and sometimes maybe it's not the right time. Yeah.
How do you know when to stop pushing or pursuing, or to take a break? Maybe you don't stop, but you can potentially ease the pressure.
Ni wewe mwenyewe, kwa sababu unajua sometimes pia when you do too much unaonekana king'ang'anizi. You get the point.
It rubs off the wrong way.
Exactly. Yeah. So sometimes maybe you say, okay, maybe I'll try once a week for this month. If I don't get any response, then I'll let it pass. Yeah, that's kind of, yeah.
Okay. I mean, paint me a picture. Paint me a picture of what it was like growing up in the 60s. How did you grow up? You from a big family? Was it Baba and Mama? Was it just Baba? Was it just Mama?
I grew up. I'm glad I've grown up with both parents. My dad was senior surgeon. He passed away in 2019. And then my mom is a social worker. But through our family, we've been hosting a lot of our cousins.
Yes, extended families. Yeah.
Extended families. My dad used to call it airport. It's a place where we have to meet all of us.
I got to Nyumbani Airport.
I got to Nyumbani Airport because you have cousins who come from shule hii, all of them are coming here, and then we kesho narudi shule and enda kwao, those kind of things. Yeah. So both of my parents are being employed. So in our family, we never have, even my uncle, baba mkubwa, baba mdogo, hatuna hata mmoja ambaye ni entrepreneur.
Okay.
You get the point. But my dad used to believe on entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Maybe he did not think this is entrepreneurship, but he believed that this is an extra income.
Okay.
Alikuwa anafanya kilimo. He loves agriculture.
Kilimo, okay.
Alikuwa anapenda kufuga nini hivyo, such kind of things. Alikuwa anaamini sana on hard working.
Okay.
I think nikicompare, he used to tell us most of the time is, mimi nimezaliwa nalala na ng'ombe nyumba moja. Wewe sasa hivi ng'ombe wako mbali.
Ni banda uko wapi?
Alafu alikuwa anasema you can go to your washroom inside. Mimi nimesucceed. I'm done.
Yeah.
Unaelewa. So you guys you have your own
msingi mzuri tayari kwa endelea
mbele. My mom comes from, I can't say exactly well of family, but a better family. So through that, I grew up being misunderstood.
Okay.
I've been that lazy kid. Unalala sana, upende kufanya kazi, mvivu, all those words that have been labeled against me. And I think since when I was young, I got comfortable with that.
How do you get comfortable with those? Are you settled?
Like I just accepted that, okay, yes, I'm a lazy kid. I have never been understood. I remember I used to do graphic design when I was in high school. So I could stay up late doing a poster to design. And those days, poster nini. Ni picha yako mwenyewe nataka kujiwekea tattoo. Nini hivyo. Alafu you post it on I think Facebook unakuwa umeanza na high five. Yes, 1960s.
Nitumia sana high five.
Kwa hiyo my dad used to tell me like, I mean, wewe unakaa sana kwenye computer, but wewe tengeneza hela kwenye computer. You get that? Meaning kwamba you have to get out. Kama ni fanya kilimo, kufanya kitu fulani, then
kitu fulani ambacho kinashikika na
kuonekana. But then for me it was like I need, kwa sababu nilikuwa a bit misunderstood, so I was more of let me stick with what I want to achieve. You get that point? I think my turning point was when I went to high school. The school I went, the owner of the school was a very successful entrepreneur. Actually, used to be a teacher at St. Mary's here in Tanzania.
Okay.
And then he went back to Uganda, and he opened similar schools like St. Mary's. You get that? So it's called St. Lawrence. They have different branches and such kind of things and everything. So he believes in entrepreneurship. So in everything, we had entrepreneurship as a class. We had programs which they are more on enlightening us about entrepreneurship and everything. So I think that for me, that was more of cementing my thinking in terms of it. Because I used to think more of when you're young, you go high school, I have big sisters. I hear them saying like, mesha graduate, so aenda kufanya interview kampuni fulani, Exim, how wapi, sijui benki fulani, sijui those kind of things. Then for me, I was like, but these banks are being owned by someone. How does it feel when you have a company and people are praying to get a job to work there? You get the point? Then for me, I was like, I think for me, I'll be...
Actually, I can relate.
I'll be that guy.
So, interesting. So, I don't watch football. I've really tried to like it. I don't dislike it. But the only way I can watch a match, mwanzo mpaka mwisho, maybe it's like a World Cup. I'm with the boys and they're watching, so I'll watch with them. Otherwise, I'm not a fan. Lakini, there was a point in time where I was like, there's also another thing that I didn't like about football was that mekana shikaji, maybe you're having drinks at a bar. Mechi mechezwa. Imeisha. For 4 hours, we're still talking about the same thing. Mechi shaisha. So you'll be sure I said, I think this is another reason why I don't watch football. Lakini baadaye, I was like, even unajua, katika kila mechi, kuna mtu atashinda, kuna mtu atafanya draw, whatever, but win or lose, there's somebody who made money regardless kwenye ile stadium. Siku moja na nitamiliki stadium.
You're like,
I don't have to like this, but
I need to be that guy.
I need to be the guy with the stadium. Mgamba, see Simba, see Yanga, see Liverpool, see Arsenal. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I can relate.
Yeah. So that was my biggest driver in my childhood.
Okay.
Because I've grown up seeing my sisters, my siblings, praying to get a better job, praying for, I'm going for this interview. Sometimes we could sit together in the sitting room praying. And
for the interview.
Yes, and then when it happened, they lose. It becomes a very sad moment throughout that week in the family and such kind of thing. So for me, I was like, I don't think life is made to be this way.
Okay.
I think we can always be doing different. And even one of my siblings was working, was a senior sales in some of the company. I had to rehire her to come and work for me because I was like, what you're doing there is the same what you can do here, and make it much more better, such kind of thing. So I think for me, my childhood was given the circumstance, because I can't say it's easy, because some of the people that have been in society where they're being misunderstood, and they will take the misunderstood to be part of their life. You get that point? But for me, I decided to look at it in a different aspect. So I think even the time when I was doing the magazine, it was working and everything. That's the time my dad would call me and say, what do you do exactly?
Yeah.
Anataka
kwanza kuelewa sasa.
Naona dada, naona nini magazine. So how do you make money? You get that? And then it started explaining to him and everything. I was like, okay. I didn't see it this way. So for him, I think because for us, we were born in the late 60s. For them, they're born in the late 20s. So it was it was a very different changing landscape. The same as us, maybe our grandson or our sons, daughters we've been in a very different space, and then sisi hataelewa hata siku moja.
Evie, so what made you transition from On Spot to, I think it was Blanq?
Blanq, yeah.
Yes.
I
On
think
Spot being a magazine.
On Spot was a magazine,
and your revenue was advertising. When people advertise on the magazine.
Yes.
And then you decided to shift entirely to advertising.
Yeah. So when I was doing the magazine, you see, one thing I'll tell people is success. Most of people who are successful, you should ask them, how did you reach here? They'll tell you maybe it's hardworking, those kind of things and everything. but in real sense is sometimes just a leap of faith.
Yeah.
You get any. You just take one step, and then one step shows you where's the next step to evil.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So for me, I think the funny thing is I never knew about advertising. I used to design graphics and everything, but I never used to think there's an actual business called advertising. You get that point? So the guy I was using him as a designer, he used to work in an advertising agency. So we used to have a couple of clients who didn't have ads. So we had to create for them.
Okay.
So I used to sit, brainstorm on my own, and then come with copies and everything and such kind of things. And then
at that time, you don't even know it's called copy.
I didn't even know it was copy.
Nieke maneno gani kwenye hii pitch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I remember my first campaign was because this was social, it was TSRA, where it was using tumia vidole vyako kujenga amani.
Vidole vyako kujenga amani.
Yeah, it was 2 fingers here, and then there tumevika yani kama watu wameshikana and everything. So for me, that was when I was doing that. This guy told me, "But do you know this? What you're doing is actually called advertising." And I'm like, "No, I don't understand." Then he said, "Kuna this advertising agency I used to work. It's from Kenya. Nini they do because it was Kenyan at that time." Then I had to research and learn about it. Then like, matangazo ya brand hii na hii unavyopata ni natoka na kampuni yao. Wao ndo naamua kwamba yaenda kwenye printer au yaendaje na vitu kama hivyo. So with that, it gave me much more understanding. So the time I switched to Blanq, it was because I think digital was coming up. And I know Sasa is one of the talking about the lessons, failures.
Yes.
So I think one of my biggest failure was I was so slow to react on digital transition. I was running the magazine print. Okay. So I still believed...
Oh, you didn't digitize the magazine?
Yes. Okay. So I still believe print it's an in thing. I have a friend of mine, Edwin Bruno, that time was running Smart Code. He came to me and told me, Amin, you need to digitize your magazine and everything. For me, I was like, yeah, but still, I think print sells more. So I didn't give it full-fledged. Okay. Although they did our digitize and everything for our online magazine and such kind of things. But then until when other brands have picked up, I remember there was a Bongo 5.
Bongo 5, yes. Yeah. Like in a Sky.
Lucas at that time. So I think I come to realize that, okay, I mean, you are way, way much behind. Then I was like, who makes a decision? I was like, it's an advertising agency. Then I was like, okay, let me move
to advertising.
And that's how I moved into that.
Okay. So that's very interesting. So
I transitioned a bit kidogo kwenye publishing because I already had a similar experience of publishing magazines. So I had a couple of organizations helping to publish their newsletters and their magazine, and then I moved completely to advertising.
Okay. So you also used to do print?
Yeah.
I mean, looking back, as somebody, especially you, somebody who's tried more than a couple actually, of business ideas, even in partnership or collaboration with someone else. It could be just specific projects. Can you think of a moment when you were most afraid?
I started Blanq. I was running Blanq for the past 6 years.
Yes.
That was 2014, 13, and then 14, moving to 2020.
Fun fact, you were one of the first people who made me think I could run an agency.
Yes. So at that time, I was running Blanq. And then I got into partnership with one of the big At that time, it was a big agency.
Yeah.
They wanted to buy us out
Okay.
and invest into an agency. Then we got into a partnership. To be honest, yes, I was scared at that time.
Okay.
You get,
About
because
the buying?
about the partnership.
Okay.
Because I was more into because for me, I used to imagine this combat. Maybe we are good, but we just need some partner who is more experienced to take us far. So at that time, when we were getting to partnership, I was a bit scared, like, have I made the right decision or a wrong decision? You get the point. I won't forget most of my team members, they were against it. You get the point. But for me, I was like, no, I think this is the right decision. I was more afraid when it failed because how could I manage my team? I told them we're going to Canaan. We got a bus, and then now some other guy came with another bus and told us to move to another bus. And that other bus we moved in, and then it did not reach the destination.
Okay.
How do you handle it? Yeah. So it's a very difficult time for me, and that's what time I was more afraid of. Sometimes it's reach a point you question yourself: am I a good entrepreneur or not? Yeah.
So there were moments of self-doubt, I guess.
Yeah.
If you have to nitpick any particular lessons from that experience, what would it be?
Believing in yourself. And wait for the right time.
Explain the time.
I'll give a very simple example.
Yeah.
Let's say you're doing catering business, and you used to get 20 people was per day, 30 people per day. And then some guy tells you, I want to give you to host an event of 500 people. You need to feed 500 people at once. At that time, we don't have all the equipment. But you see, as an entrepreneur, we are always positive and optimism. Like, I'm going to make money. You think of the money. You don't think of the actual what it takes to reach there.
Yeah.
So if you commit to such kind of work, that means you're going to need all the equipment at once, all the people at once, and such kind of things. But you see, the real thing is you yourself, you're not prepared. You're used to have 4 people reporting to you.
Yeah.
You're never prepared to have 10 people reporting to you. You used to have maybe only 2 vendors to deal with. You're not used to have 20 vendors to deal with and such kind of things. Because everything you do, it comes to reflect in your own life and how you handle your day to day. You get the point. So I still believe is, even me, if you ask me, I think the right way will be wait. Your time will come.
And how do you know when the time has come?
Opportunity comes, which you can manage. You manage once, and then you manage another one, then you manage another one. Then with no time, you can find, kumbe now I can handle 500 people. You get that one. But it's not that you run from 10 to 500. And most of us in entrepreneurs in any business, we normally pick the most performing one and putting out the reference. But we forget that maybe the most performing one had used maybe 5 or 6 years to get where it is.
You get where it is, yeah.
So we're trying to do that in 2 years. Yeah.
I think one of the biggest sorry, I'm changing the topic a little bit. I think one of the biggest challenges with entrepreneurship and business is partnership. Now, kufono mimi, I think I've stopped counting how many people I've met who are like, mwanangu, I don't do partnerships. nafanya mimi tu kwa sababu nashindwa kupata mtu ambaye tunaweza tukaingia ubia. As somebody who has experienced partnership not only on a project level but actually at a business scale, where somebody else came in and you had to explore the possibility of a synergy, and then you went beyond exploring, you did synergize. What would you, lazima kuna somo hapa, like, I guess the question is, if I wanted to partner with someone and I called you up, I mean, I'm thinking about partnering up with particular person with this business. Are there any pointers you would give me? Elisha, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If these are in check, poor. If they're not, don't.
I think I'm among the people who have had, I think, over 10 partnerships since I started entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Which has failed.
Okay.
But I'm glad all of them failed partnership were still very close cycle.
Okay.
Some of them are very close suppliers to me and that kind of things. But the biggest lesson I learned is that, number one, as our economy does not support right partnerships because we don't have right tools to do measurement. Partnership is more of controlling what Alicia is supposed to do, what Amin is supposed to do. And make sure, you do what you're supposed to do and Alicia is what's supposed to do. And then if it's failing, what is the best
Way
case?
to move forward.
So we don't have that resources. You get that point. Even you, when you get into partnership, we don't involve a legal person to advise this is the way to do it. Because for you, you're bringing a cup. For me, I'm bringing a cup. Then what will be the partnership arrangement, responsibility, and such kind of things. So number one is, for small business, we don't have enough resources to invest and to maintain the partnership. And that's why you see maybe in US, you'll see maybe a company that's been invested 100 billion, such kind of things, and moving forward. But because they have resources to manage that partnership. So for anyone who is trying to start a business and everything, I'll advise, try as much as you can on yourself. And unless the partnership you're really, really sure that is a person you can manage. Do you get the point? Then the next thing is try to use the best way, like division of resources or supply chain. You get the point? So it can be, I make the soda and then you sell to the shops. So I'll constant being making sodas.
So you specialize in your area, I specialize in mine.
Yes, and then you do together. I think that's the best way to fast figuring out if this works for us or it does not work for us. If you're planning to do an event, let's say I will provide food, you will bring drinks, and then let's do it constantly that way. If it keep on working, then we'll say, okay, now we can do a proper partnership. But it's give you room that if I fail to bring drinks, you have an option to bring another drink. Because another issue with partnership is when it becomes to fall apart, it becomes very emotional because people, they are more taking it personal apart from the business, which is, it's kind of lagging you behind into what you're trying to do. So I think I'll advise anyone, if you're looking to do partnership, try to see if it's something you can divide the services. And there's a good example in global brands. If you look at the best case, it was Sony. They divide the divisions. I think Puma and Adidas, the German brothers, they divide the divisions. Another one was Diageo and Guinness. So Guinness continued doing manufacture of beer, and then this guy was continuing distributing the beer and that kind of thing. So I think that's the best way you can learn to partnership. So that before you go to actual partnership, try to share common services, and then you see how you get into that.
Sorry, share common services or divide to deliver a common...
Divide the roles to deliver the common
service. Okay,
all product.
That's very good advice, because it's also, I guess, it's kind of like dating before getting married. And it's a safe way to date.
I think for that one, I understand.
So, having had over 10 partnerships, Jesus, that's a lot. You must believe a lot in humanity. That's a good thing, though.
That's something it's a good quality. When I was high. I started doing my first business when I was in first year.
Yeah. With having had also quite a number of failures, unadhani ni kitu gani ambacho kilikufanya wewe uanze yani uendelee kupush? Like, what was the thing that made you keep wanting to try again and again and again and again, and wake up and then try again and again and again and again?
I think for me, ukiniuliza, I still have that note. I was in Form 6.
Okay.
And I pinned it on my wall. I want to be one of the influential entrepreneurs. And influential not in terms of making big money, influential in terms of they bring impact within the society. Number one, for me, I look at more of the people I hire around me. That's why sometimes one of my business, I overhire a lot.
Yeah.
Because that becomes my weakness. Because for me, the moment I see people who can depend their life within the business I've started, I feel more, it drives me more. So that's number one. Number two is that as an entrepreneur, you're bound to fail, you're bound to rise. You get that point. So for me, it's more of how do I make my story better? You get that. So even the time when I failed, I think more of I think this failure is that part which the story becomes exciting.
The next chapter is gonna be dope.
Exactly. So like let me make more exciting. It's not as easy as it said. It's very difficult,
Yeah.
and
Especially in the moment.
yes, and it's good people to understand that when you fail, you wake up. People think like you fell tarehe moja, you wake up tarehe 30. You get that point. It can be you fell 2015, you wake up 2017.
Yeah.
It can be any time.
That's very true.
You can fail 2015 and you wake up 2030.
Yeah.
As long as you're still alive and you're still trying to pursue what you want to do, it's still trying to fail and wake up.
Yeah.
You get that point. Most of people misconcept and think more of you fail
Like
in
it
the
just
morning and
happens
then you
very
wake up in the
quickly.
evening. Yes, it's not.
Is there a particular failure that you cherish the most?
I think I cherish a couple of failures.
Yeah.
I don't have very, very specific.
Okay.
Maybe because for me is I don't hold so much attached to the failures I've gone through. I take more of like lessons. I think my most biggest failure was losing the company which I'd started 6 years.
Blanq?
And Blanq, yeah, working on it for the past 6 years, and then reached the point that then you realize, okay, I can't fight to get it back. You get the point. So, and I had to start afresh. So I think that was one of my biggest failure, because that time you have family, you have things to go through, but also appreciate the supporting system from the family you have, from your wife to your family, siblings, and such kind of things, and even friends. Some of the friends.
Yeah.
But I think that was my biggest failure, which I was like, okay, I never thought of reach to this point.
Yeah. Was it a turning point for you?
Yeah, it was a turning point.
Yeah.
It's a huge turning point for me.
Because you see, most people, let alone failure, and let alone fearing failure, a lot of us being human, we fear the judgment that is associated with failure. So, because we do take it personal, and we do use it as a mirror, and it reflects on what we are not so great at that we thought we might have been great at. And some people, it really, really cripples them. So, one, was it a turning point for you? How? But also, how have you been able to overcome the fear from judgment?
Number one was nitaka kusema vijana wa siku hizi, kama mimi sio kijana wa siku hizi.
I was your 60s.
Since your 60s. There's a very big misconception of there's a very close friend of mine, and was sort of a mentor at that time. He used to tell me one thing. Do you know a very successful entrepreneur and a very successful CEO of a big bank, they have the same life. One is employed, one is not employed. You get that one. But they're the same. Both they can board business class, both they can have the house they want and everything. In our society, we used to perceive more of being self-employed is being successful. You get the point. But for me, I look at it very differently. Being self-employed is being okay to have more liabilities and more responsibilities.
Okay.
You get that. That's the only difference. But in terms of finance, lifestyle, you're all the same. You get the point. Maybe if you are running a mid-sized company, you're the same as a senior manager somewhere else.
Yeah.
we make the same money.
Yeah.
The only difference is you wake up in the morning and you chase that. They work in the morning in the office, and then they do emails and calls.
Yeah.
And yes, sir. And
Yeah.
then they make
Different
that.
kind of responsibility, different
Yes,
liabilities.
but we both make the same. So for me, I used to look at it more of, in terms of the failures, it is the same as losing a job. So you start a business and it's failing, it's the same as you go for a job and then
You didn't get it.
you don't get it, or you work there and then they say you're not performing better,
Yeah.
and then you lose it. It's the same thing. You get that point. But these other parties just have much more bigger role because you have people who have employed that depend on you and such kind of things. So I think for me that's most biggest driver.
Okay.
You get that point. So for me, my turning point was more of the people I've worked with over 5 years, 3 years. How will their life be?
Yeah.
If I don't do anything,
Yeah.
these guys are lost.
Because you kind of are responsible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they trusted me to come and work for me and that kind of things. So for me, that was my biggest driver and turning point into that. The another thing was believing in yourself, and also believing in yourself, also including that if I train you, Elisha, and then the next thing you advise me is to believe that this is the person I've trained and this is the one advising me, and not thinking of more of no, there's a better person who can advise me than that. You get the point. Sometimes it's good to grow based on your own capacity rather than to grow by external influence.
Yes.
I think that was the first question.
Yeah. Yes, it was. Yes.
The second was,
how did you overcome fear of judgment?
Fear of judgment, I think for me, started from the childhood because I was already misunderstood.
Shota Sugu. Fimbo ilikuwa hata yume. It's like,
yes, so I was already more of it doesn't matter. But also a good thing I learned is choosing a crowd. You get that point. I give a very good example. We have been this past weekend kona Simba na Yanga.
Yes.
You get that point. I think Mo angekuwa anakaa nasikiliza mashabiki wa Yanga wanavyoongea, kesho angeuza timu.
Kweli.
You get that point.
Yeah.
But I think the people who surround him, the people who motivate him and give him hope to do much more better and such kind of things. So I think it's the same applied to our normal lives. If you keep entertaining on what people say about you, trust me, you won't do anything. You get that one. The places you go and hear your story and you wonder, it is me. You get that one. So I think the best way to do is try as much as you can limit people who they're giving you information about yourself, what people think about. Because sometimes people who talked about you, they actually don't know about you.
Yeah.
You get that point. So
those who matter don't mind, those who mind don't matter.
Exactly. And there's nothing this world will ever do and it will satisfy the community. There's nothing. Just make that clear to yourself. And as long as deep down in your heart you know that I've done a good thing and it has failed, then let it pass and own it and move forward.
Have you ever had mentors?
Yeah, I do have mentors.
Okay, you still have them?
Yeah, I do have them.
Okay, are they like real people or like people you look up to?
No, real people.
Okay.
Real people, yeah.
Okay.
And it just keep on evolving from initially I used to think mentor only to choose someone successful, maybe in business. But sometimes I come to realize you can have mentors in a couple of different sections in your life.
So like a mentor for marriage, a mentor for business, a mentor
for... There are good mentors for marriage, for family. There are good mentors for business and such kind of things. Yeah. And even in business, there are good mentors in terms of financial management.
Right, yeah.
But
and
not
get
in
illegal, get tax. Yeah. Here's another random question. What's the best gift another human being has ever given you?
A best gift ever given by a human being?
By another human being, yeah.
PS5.
Who was the human being?
My wife.
Yeah, okay. It's a very good human being. You're a gamer?
Yeah, I'm a gamer.
An active gamer?
Or passive? The funny thing, I'm passive gamer, but it was because, again, childhood. You get that one. I grew up, I used to play game I have a PC, and then I used to have a PC, and then you play game from a PC. I used to admire people who have PS.
Sindio.
And then kasema, one day when I get money, I'll make sure I never miss this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, so we're going to another segment.
Okay.
We call this segment Injaboxing. And the idea behind this segment is to really, really lean on the potential msasa ambaye our audience could potentially get from listening to this particular episode. The theme, we usually have themes. The theme we're running with right now is going to market.
Okay.
And so we would like you kutupiga sisi sasa in relation to, as an entrepreneur, as a professional communicator and marketer, and as somebody who has tried and tested many different things, especially considering that you come from the 60s. What is the blueprint that you need to think about when you're thinking about taking a product, service, or some kind of solution to market, preferably soko letu la hapa la kitanzania, ikivuka labda East Africa, but zaidi kitanzania.
Nitakuwa a bit biased.
Biased on what?
One of the things I saw, it was what are the things what are 3 business you'll never do?
Yeah.
Okay, you answer.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
What are the 3 businesses I'll never do? It's a funny question. I asked that to other people. I've never been asked. So they're not necessarily bad businesses. I just will never do them. Yeah. Events imenisomesha mimi chuo. I'm never doing it again. Stuck there. So I'm not doing events, at least not for myself. Maybe for the people. Events. I'm not doing events. Another business I will never do. I never want to do a business where I don't understand its inventory. So I don't have a particular business, but inventory management has been one hell of a lesson when we've been building distro. And I'm like, oh, hivi unajua isingekuwa kwamba some of this inventory I actually enjoy and drink it, I might have had a much bigger problem. So if I don't understand the inventory, I don't want to do the business. Another business that I will never do, other than my core current business, which is Naked, the marketing agency, is I will never do another business where you have to know, like, and trust Alicia to work with me. I'll never do that again. This is the only one I will do.
Interesting. So, based on your question, you asked me about the
blueprint
of a go-to-market strategy.
Yeah.
So, I was saying the reason I asked that question is because I think I'm more good into service experience-based business. Like if you're running an FMCG product, just focus on 3 things: people to know about your product, to be available in the nearest place, and you have a right pricing.
So people to know right pricing, closest to any available in the nearest mangi near you.
Yes. Hata kesho kutaka kufungua Elisha Soda, it's easy because for FMCG switch price is very easy. Yani if nikienda kununua kiberiti, sometimes I don't even ask which brand, I just buy kiberiti. Nikienda kununua wembe, such kind of things, I just focus on
kuna vitu funny. I want the thing,
not the brand.
Yeah.
Things, yeah. For a small entrepreneur, that's the easiest way to enter. But if you're a big entrepreneur, of course, you need to build the brand equity, because the brand equity inakusaidia kwamba even if you have multiple players, people will still go to the shop and keep asking.
And they can ask for specific things. Ni kama vile tunavyoomba kiwi. Wakati unaweza kupewa brand ambayo sio kiwi.
Au tunasemaga naomba Colgate na kati.
Naomba Colgate ya White Dent. Mimi sana ninayosikiaga is naomba kitu M-Pesa ya. Naomba M-Pesa ya Tigo, naomba M-Pesa ya Airtel.
Au Shelly, and then you have a multiple other.
Ukifika pale kwenye Shelly ya welcome.
Kwa hiyo I think for a small brand, you just need to make sure you have availability and choose a zone. Kwa mfano kama mimi nikifungua na biashara yangu moja ya ubuyu nataka kuanzisha.
Okay.
I'm just
Like
joking.
Mushu amekuinfluence.
I'm just joking, but kwa mfano kama na ubuyu na kisha kama within Mbezi unapatikana kwenye kila duka, and mtu akienda dukani anaona communication yangu kwamba ubuyu wa Amini unapatikana hapa, and then the right pricing iko sawa sawa, kwamba ukicompare na ubuyu unanunua Zanzibar, Forodhani na nini, it's the same price. It's not too much high or too much hivyo. Then for a small business you can win. For experience, I think the first thing is start with a small cycle and then keep on growing it as you move forward.
Growing the business or the cycle?
For service.
Yeah, growing the business or the cycle?
The cycle.
The cycle.
The cycle of the good experience. Because I see it more from I won't want to mention the company because they haven't paid. I think when they paid we'll mention them.
Amen.
But as an internet company which have very good beta services, but they have not done so much of advertising, but people kept on referring each other. You get the point. Like
word of mouth.
I'm using this. It's good services and everything used, because service industry is it's people to experience it, just like when you have a hotel. You get the point. That sometimes the good hotels, good place to go for vacation and that kind of things, you get to know them by your friend referring you.
Yeah.
You get that point. Now we have social media and everything, so people go there, have a good experience. Unajua kama kuna sehemu wanalisha wanyama, everyone akipost wanyama, then one thinks of I need to go this place na mimi nifanye events, that kind of thing. But you see what is selling is an experience. You get that point. So for service industry, focus on a good experience. If you have a shit experience, don't do it. You get that point. I always tell people, like, even from part of the client when we work with them, it's like if you have a bad experience, even if you do a good marketing campaign, we're just going to add more complaints.
Yeah.
You get that point. So for service industry, focus more on perfecting the services. Don't focus on marketing.
Say that again.
For service industry, focus more on perfecting the services, not the marketing.
Okay.
You get that one. A lot of people are focusing on marketing their business instead of perfecting the services, because the good services bring you another client.
Okay. Like when the work, basically you're saying sometimes the work speaks for itself.
Yes. Like if you have a good hotel, if we come and have a good experience, we'll talk about it. We'll share about it. You get that one. If it's internet services, if it's cleaning services, if you come and clean my house, spotless clean and such kind of things, then I'll still talk and refer you to someone else. You get that one, rather than you keep on promoting about it and such kind of things. For a product, you need to make sure product is good, because even if you have a right visibility, it's available, you have a right pricing, and it's a shitty product, I'll just test it or use it, and then I'll never come again. You get that. So at the end of the day, if you look at everything, the key thing is have a unique selling point in everything you're doing.
Have a unique USP.
Yeah. So that will help your business to have a better go-to-market strategy than anything else.
But the USP in itself needs to be unique.
Yes. Yeah. And like if you're doing a gin today, I've seen there's a lot room of gins, of gins, everything.
Yes.
But if you're doing a gin, what is so unique from other gins?
Kwa nini wewe sio Kevanti au wewe sio nani au wewe sio nani au Konyagi au Gordon, so Amin Swai gin
au Elisha gin, such kind of thing.
Au Isia gin
au Msasa gin, au Msasa gin.
But I do have a thing. I think if we have a condom called Isia condom, it would be a really good condom. Kwa sababu kwanza the name is the USP. Pata ladha halisi.
Yes. Ukiwa na hisia
condom.
So I think the key thing is the USP. Even your condom needs to have maybe nata, nafanya nini, that kind of things, and that kind of, au na pilipili kidogo. You never know. Maybe
Inawasha hivi.
What the people like.
Also like audio devices.
So the key thing is I think you need to make sure first your product is very unique. And sometimes unajua kibongo bongo tukisemaga unique tunakaa tunawanda hasa mimi nitaweza kufikiria kama Mark Zuckerberg au nani. You get that? But unique is more of natengeneza keki, maybe keki yangu nimeweka ladha nazi. Umeelewa? Anatengeneza ubuyu wangu nawekea embe kidogo, au natengeneza gin yangu mimi inakuwa na taste ya Coca-Cola. It can be anything. Very small.
Nakumbuka samani mkatisha, lakini nakumbuka kuna kipindi fulani kulikuwa kuna gin ambayo ukiuliza washikaji hivi kwa nini unapenda kuliko yeye, anaambia mwanangu mdomo unuki. That's potentially a USP. Yani that's all. Yani kwamba
it's a key unique selling point. So I think for every business, you just need to have that's one thing whereby if you mention it, no one else owns it. You get the point. And then it becomes much more easy to sell it. And even if you do your ads, they will be related to that. You get the point. And opposed me, I'm very... Sometimes, I think it's because pia tuko kwenye hii industry, ndo maana you notice a lot of things. I hate when I hear things like, karibu tunauza nyama choma bei nafuu, au tunauza nyama mbuzi bei nafuu, au tunauza kitu fulani bei nafuu. That's like bei nafuu is the only thing you can say. You get the point. So I think for me...
You know what I don't like? You know what I don't like? Quality services.
Yes.
Everybody has quality services. Kwanza, the consumer expects quality services. Why are you telling me what I expect?
Exactly. Like, come tunakupa quality services.
Kwani nategemea less quality services.
Yeah, so I think for me, for any person, an entrepreneur ambaye anataka kufanya biashara,
focus on your USP.
Focus on your USP. And make sure kwamba and the best exercise is think about yourself.
As a potential buyer?
As a potential buyer.
Okay.
If I'm going to buy ubuyu, will I buy this ubuyu ambayo natengeneza? If I'm going to buy a cake, will I buy this cake ambayo natengeneza? If I'm going to bring someone to do a cleaning in my house, will I... Kuna vitu, ukifanya hivyo, kuna very small things ambayo mwenyewe unataka kuvinotice. Mfano, unataka umeangalia na sabuni na vifaa na kila kitu, lakini umesahau issue ya kwamba maybe when you go to do cleaning in someone's house, kuna issue ya trust. Tumekuta hela, tumekuta dhahabu, tumekuta nini, we'll keep it and maintain it. Now when you think about yourself, kwamba if I bring people to come and clean my house, what is one thing I'll be worrying about? My personal valuable things.
Stuff, yeah.
Then you come and look at your business and then you say like, okay, in my business, am I focusing on this? Is it part of things which I'll assure my client that they'll always have it? You get the point. The same apply when there's so many gins. I know everyone has that uncle who gets drunk in the village. And wanasema wewe unakunywa kemikali. You get the point. So now when you are starting your own gin product, unataka ujiulize kwamba if I had an uncle or a friend of mine anatumia hichi kinywaji, would that be something I'll be proud of? And I feel like, yeah, my friend or my uncle is using a right product. Umeelewa? Kwa hiyo hata wewe nakurudisha back to think of hichi kinywaji nachofanya, is it a right drink? You get the point. Au hata tuseme mfano unafanya, it can be anything. You get the point. Put yourself first, and then hata kama wewe sio mtumiaji, think of people who are close to you. If they use that product, will you feel proud or happy for them to use that kind of product? Will you think they've made the right decision? And then if it's that, then you have a right product.
Very interesting. I mean, karibu Msasani.
Asante sana.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.